Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Vince, over here at ABC Dice. Today, we're out here on May 15th, and we're here doing kind of late night practice. It's been a long day, both at work here and at home, but we're gonna get some practice in. We have a May 28th through May 30th event coming up. Texas Turnip Craps and Texas Crap Shooters, along with some members of ABC Dice, will be out there having on some practice. Actually, we're going to be meeting up in Lake Charles. So again, if you're in the Texas area, Louisiana, that'll be May 28th through May 30th at Lake Charles. So again, there'll be Texas Turnip Craps, Texas Crap Shooters, and ABC Dice, and a couple other people around the area. So it'll be short and simple today. We're going to be doing a $15 minimum table with a $2,000 bankroll. Practice as if you'd be at the real casino. Again, we're going to be probably 75 rolls or 1 hour, whichever comes sooner. And we're in the middle of the roll. We'll probably continue. We won't take too much time out here. So if you did join us live, again, we're just practicing, get some practice in for this May event. So get your bets in. We're going to keep it short. You have 20 seconds countdown after we set the dice. So way you can get your bets in, try to practice some expedited payment. So here we go. We're going to be using the 6562. So pretty much is a hard weight set on top and then a big red front and back. So let me trying that out, seeing how it goes. It's going to be practice from 14-foot table to stick left 1. We have a 314 on the far end. It'll be a 314. That will be our point. This is a traditional craps table. I didn't set it up for a crap list. We'll do that some other time. So let me bring the dice into view. 314. Got Joe out there. Don't pass. Inside on. Well, if you did see the previous stream, that was, I believe it was maybe a week ago, and we were having a bad rolls. No matter what we did, we were just not getting numbers. We weren't getting numbers. So let's see if we get something going here. My Crapsee app's a little bit on the finicky side, so here we go. Again, our point is 4. We're going to try to keep it moving fast. Again, we're trying to get a 75 rolls for an hour. Let's see if we can try to squeeze these in without too much chitter chatter. We're sticking with the same dice set. There's a 6-6 box cars on the far end. That is a box car on the far end. So we got our first horn. I am a believer, see a horn, bet a horn. So let's see if we can replay that. That is a primary hit. That is a primary hit. So here we go. So we're going to get a countdown on there. We got our first horn number of the night. We got our first horn number of the night. Let's see if we can get some smalls. Let's see if we can try to get the ATS, because I believe Lake Charles tables, most of them are 14-footers. I've yet to see a 12-footer unless it's the roll to win table. Oof, a 1-6-7 out. That was a double pitch. That was only 3 rolls. That wasn't pretty. That was not pretty whatsoever. 1-6-7 out. Got no money on there. We just lost money on that one. We lost money on that one. Okay, here we go. Carlos CEO Aces. You made some money, Carlos, on that horn number. I didn't get anything. That was horrible. But again, I just started cold. Let's see if we can get something going here. Let's get some teen numbers. There's a 1-5 easy 6. I like that number. That is a point. 1-5 easy 6. Let's see if we can get some money in here. So again, if you're going to be in the Lake Charles area, or you're here in Texas, we are Texas Crap Shooters and T-Tuck and members of ABC Dice. We will be out in Lake Charles. That's May 28th and through the 30th, I believe, is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I know some of you have some work out there. Some of you have work, but if you're able to join us, we'll be in the Lake Charles area. No specific casino. They're probably going to be hopping around, I believe. Uh, T-Tuck saying that he's going to share an itinerary, but for right now, we have no specific casino. So someone's going to stay at Lake Charles, someone the Golden Nugget, someone with the Horseshoe, but we will meet up, at least on the tables. We'll get together once we're there. 257 out. Oof. That was a primary hit. I started with a 6562. So that was a primary hit. A primary hit means that's exactly the dice that I started out with. It was a 6562 in the front dice. So the red was a 5 and the blue was a 2. That's exactly what I started with from the front facing dice. So I need to make the changes very, very fast. I got a double pitch in the top and bottom on my last one. I got a double pitch and a primary hit in the bottom. So now I'm gonna make the dice corrections now. Okay, so it'll be a 6-5. We'll change it to a 4-5. Let's do cross sixes actually. We'll do a 6-4, 6-2. That's the dice that we're gonna use. 6-4, 6-2. We're doing on axis toss. We're gonna start adding rotation now to the dice. The 2-4 easy 6. I am gonna wait one roll because I've been getting cold right now. I don't want to get hit by another PSO. So I am gonna wait one roll. That's a 2-4 easy 6. That's the point. I landed right here. Here's where I'm trying to aim the spot I'm trying to land on that field right after the pace double right there is where I'm trying to land and let them bounce into the back wall. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. You have a 20-second countdown, so feel free to take those 20 seconds and make your proper bets. 6-4, 6-2. I'm using cross sixes. And again, it was a primary hit. A primary hit on the front and back dice. Actually, the front dice. So I'm using 6-5, 6-2, and they landed with the 4-2. Okay, here we go. A little bit lower than I wanted to. Ace deucey on the far end. That's ace deuce. That is an ace deuce. That is an ace deuce. On to the screen. Maybe you can see it, but let me move it to where you can probably see it. It's an ace deucey. Oops, meant to take the inside down. Got the bot there. Got 5-10 Hawaii. Hello. Do you like the forehand or backhand throw? So it depends on how my dice are behaving. So sometimes I'll add a backswing to it. Sometimes I will not. Sometimes if I need the dice to rotate more in the air before they land, I'll add the backswing because it tends to give the dice more rotation in the air. If I don't want them to rotate as much, then I'll just do a forehand and no backhand. 6-4, 6-2 is the dice set. So it just depends on the table. Some of them are very, very bouncy, and I'm trying to reduce a lot of the energy that I put in the dice. So bouncy tables I dislike, so I tend to do less rotation on bouncy dice. Bouncy tables, I'm sorry. That's an ace deuce once again. That is an AC deucey. That is a replay. That is another ace deuce. That's one way to make money on the horns. I did have it on there and I parlayed it. It's ace deuce once again. So if you're on the horns, it did make money. Okay, let's see. 6-4, 6-2. 6-4, 6-2 is what we're shooting. And we're gonna go with 75 rolls. 75 rolls right now, whichever comes first. Because it's been a very long evening, but I wanted to get a couple things in there. I've added some new graphics cards, and hopefully that helps the computer process information. That's a 4610 on the far end. That is a 4610. That is a 4610 on the far end. So I'm testing a couple things and trying to get some practice. Trying to get some practice before take a shower and go get some rest, because tomorrow's another long day. Tomorrow's another long day. But I'm trying to get as much practice as I can when I can to try to be a bit ready for this coming up event. 6462. I believe you already have the countdown in there. Oops, sorry, I didn't press it. So I'm trying to make enough to get out of the hand, at least for this hand. I'm not trying to chase the losses from the other one. I'm trying to get out of this hand and then build up from there. That's a 5-6 yo. That is a 5-6 yo. 5-6 yo. Let me move it onto the screen. Oh, there we go. 5-6 yo. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah. Sorry, you see me moving the stick. I'm trying to see if it's actually the camera hasn't frozen up. Every once in a while, the camera will freeze. Too bad we don't have boxcars as we did before. Okay, 6462. 6462. And I am doing a backswing on this one. There's a 2-6 easy 8. They kissed over there. The dice did kiss. I don't like when it does that. 2-6 easy 8. It scares me when I hear that click. On the loud casino, you can't hear them, but over here I have a kind of quiet. I turned off one of the AC systems and kept the one that's kind of quiet. But yeah, hearing that click scares me whenever I hear dice do that. All right. 6462 is the dice set. I'm using cross sixes. I was doing something else before, and I was getting primary hits in the front and back dies, and then double pitching on the top and bottom. So I went with a cross six set. Hopefully, no double pitch top and bottom. There's a 5-5 puppy paws on the far end. That is puppy paws. That is a 5-5 for 10. There we go. Look, 5-5 or 10. So some of you are going to get a countdown. I'm going to try to take it up all to 75 rolls. 6-4-6-2. 6-4-6-2. I'm still a little bit heavy on the hand. I'm still haven't recovered some of the money out of the hand. I was betting very light. Yes, it started with 96 across. Oof. There's a 3-4-7. 3-4-7 out. That was a 3-4-7 out. You only got 8 rolls? Got up to 8 rolls. We're missing, what is it, the midnight and the 9. 8 rolls is not bad, but I'm really trying to get into the teens. I'm really trying to get into the teens. Trying to get at least, for me, a decent roll, something that I'd be happy with is probably 12 to 15 rolls. And anything above that, whether it be 20, 30, 40, or 50, then I'm very happy. The 6-4-6-2. 6-4-6-2 is the dice set. The kiss on the far end, but there's an ace deuce. We've seen those a couple times. That's my third ace deuce. I do play the horns on my come out roll, and I do put it heavier on the ace deuce because of that reason. That way, if the ace deuce does hit, maybe my pass line goes down, but because I'm heavier on the ace deuce, it pays me extra, so I make money. So I do play a horn bet, and I also hedge it with a big red. So, Ace deuce, and we can do it again. That makes me money because I will press it. 6-4, 6-2 has been giving us ace deuce and yos. There's a 2-5-7. That's a come out 7. 2-5-7. There's a 2-5-7. That is a winner. It is a winner. You paid it properly. So if you were working the come outs or you were laying all your bets, that one probably hurt you. That probably put some hurt on you. We're still looking for a point. We're on roll number 3, and we're still looking for a point. I'm still using the 6-4-6-2. 6-4-6-2. I'm using cross sixes. There's a 3-4-7. There's another come out 7. There's a 3-4-7. We're still looking for a point. I sure hope that you're not working the come outs. I'll tell you that. There's another 3-4-7. I've been known to hit 3, 4, or 5 come out 7s in a row. So instead of the 6-4, 6-2, I'm gonna go with the 6-2, 6-4. I'm just gonna swap them around. That's all I'm gonna do. Swap them around and see if I get a different result. So all I did is swap them from the right die to the left side and the right side to the left. That's all I did. That's a 1-5 easy 6. 1-5 easy 6. 6 is the point. Now I'll be honest with you. When this happens to me, even when I'm at the roll table, I will wait one roll. I will play odds. I'll tell you that. I will place my odds, but I will wait one roll. One of the things that kind of gets under my skin is getting hit by a PSO, even if I'm shooting myself. So because I had 2 come out big reds, even though I made the modification, I am waiting out one roll. 6-2, 6-4 is the die set. You can't lose on a PSO if you're not betting it. But again, you may have a good roll, you may make some money off of it, but I just don't like being hit on the PSOs. Oh, a little bit shorter than I wanted to. 3-6-9er, that is a shorty. 3-6-9er, that is a shorty. All right, I'm going 96 across. And when I go 96 across, sometimes I'll do that mostly on the cruise lines because they have 2 times odds. If I'm actually at the land casinos, they do have 3, 4, 5s. So I will be able to use it and place that actual good money on the odds versus placing it on a place bet. So that's just something I'm sharing, that when I'm at the cruise lines, most times it's 2 times odds, and I'll go including the point. But I won't do it in land casinos because land casinos do allow me to put more in the free odds on my pass line. All right, 6-2, 6-4 is the dice that we're doing. We're gonna try to hit 75 rolls. Hopefully one of these shooters takes us into an ATS. There's a 2-4 easy 6, 2-4 easy 6. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner chicken dinner. Okay, so a winner right there. This is a come out roll, so bet accordingly. This is a come out roll, so do bet accordingly. Don't work the come outs. Don't work the come outs. Don't work the come outs. As I kind of told you. Hey, Mad Dog, how you doing, my friend? Hey, Mad Dog, just trying to get some practice. Trying to get some practice for this May event. Just at least an hour's practice. For those of you out there, I'm triggering some animation, some audio stuff like that, sound effects. If any of those effects kind of either too loud, too low, or something that you see, please provide feedback. Just tell me what animation, what you saw. Feedback is greatly appreciated. That's a 6-6 as a come out, and we got box cars on the far end. That is a 6-6 midnight. That is a midnight. Here we go. We're not doing a crapless session today, so we cannot establish that as a point. But because I am playing on the horns, I did make money off of that roll. I did make money off of that roll, so I do not mind hitting a horn number on the come out, because I do play the horns on myself. 6-2, 6-4. So it was a primary hit. Exactly how the dice are on top is exactly how they landed way back there after they did all the bouncing around and hitting everyone. That's a 3-5 easy 8. That is a 3-5 easy 8. 8's the point. So we did establish 8 as a point. Got a Mad Dog. Oh, you're heading out to Reno? Nice. Very, very nice. I love road trips. I love casino trips. But I gotta be careful. I gotta space them. I gotta space them wide enough to where, in case if I do have a bad trip, I don't have 2 or 3 bad trips in a back-to-back month. So I do try to space it out. If I'm doing well and there's friends that want to meet up and they're out there and get a couple of them, I will participate and at least have a small little bankroll and just go play for a little bit. But I try to plan my trips 2 to 3 months apart. 6-2, 6-4. A little bit shorter than I wanted to. 3-5 easy 8. 3-5 easy 8. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner chicken dinner. Ooh, no, that's not the animation we wanted. We wanted. We sniped that 8. There you go. Got that 8 on there. That is a winner. That is a winner. That is a come out roll. So please bet accordingly. Please bet accordingly. That is a come out roll. We're looking for a point. And if you're not careful, you may be able to 6-2, 6-4 to get a couple big reds just in the come out roll. So 6-2, 6-4. I'm trying to hit over there in the field area. That's a 3-4-7. Like I told you, I am known to be hitting big reds on the come out, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, we were missing, I think, what is it, the 10 and the yo. So we knocked out all our good numbers we had on the ATS on the top side. So that was a wah-wah. So that made us reset our ATS. That made us reset our ATS. 6-2, 6-4. 6-2, 6-4. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 winners. I consider the midnight a winner because I bet the horns on the come out. But we do have minimum 5 pass line winners. That's a 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. That's the 8 reestablished again as a point. Although I am wandering off a little bit too much to the right, more than I want to. More than I want to. I'm hitting over here where I really want to be hitting here. The 2-6 easy 8, so 8's the point once again. 8 is the point once again. All right. 6-2, 6-4 is the dice that we're using. And we're trying to go to 75 rolls. So we're in the teens at least. We're in at least in 11 rolls. Let's see if this shooter can carry us through a whole lot more than just 11 rolls. That's a 5-6 yo on the far end. That is a 5-6 yo. That is a 5-6 yo. Unfortunately, I'll be truthful. I really didn't like that shot because when I let go of the dice, I had my lungs full of air, and that tends to make my chest kind of pop out a bit, so it's a little bit dangerous. I'll be true. That's just something that I sense. Probably you probably didn't notice it on the camera, but there's something that I felt that oof. I like to release the dice on my natural exhale and the natural pause, but that is exactly what happened. So I do try to practice a little bit of breathing exercises when I'm shooting. Just try to help minimize all the randomness. Try to at least control a little bit or influence a little bit. That's a 4-6-10. That is a 4-6-10 on the far end. That's a 4-6-10. I think those are the two numbers we were missing a while ago, right? I think before we reset the ATS, I think we were missing the 10 and the yo. I think we're missing the 10 and the yo. But Lady Luck has a tendency of messing with us. Like she's like, haha, the two numbers you were missing, here they go. Sometimes Lady Luck's like, we're missing, like the previous shooter had everything, almost hit the ATS by missing a single number, let's say like a 6 or a 5. And the very next roll happens to be the 5. All right, we're looking for an 8. 8's the point. A little bit too far to the right. 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. That is a winner chicken dinner. 2-6 easy 8. There's another point. Half a say trip, Mad Dog. Hopefully you come back with a wheelbarrow full of money from Reno. Come like Jim McIngvale, right? From Mattress Mac or Gallery of Furniture, that he came back with a wheelbarrow full of money. Never seen that before. That was interesting when I watched that on the news. All right, we're looking for a point. Don't work the come out. Vince has a tendency of hitting big reds on the come out. It will hurt. That's a 4-6-10. That's another 10 over there. There's a 4-6-10. This time we establish it as a point. 4-6-10. 10 is our point this go around. Let's move that puck onto that 10. I think you can see it on screen. 4-6-10 is the point. I'm gonna throw a nickel on the horn. Hopefully we can get at least the talls. At least something on the talls. 6-2-6-4 is the dice set I am using right now from Stick Left 1. And apologize if you see me looking around because I'm looking at messages on both the live chat and then on the actual stream OBS. So if you see me looking around, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's a 1-4-5er. That is a horse and buggy. That is a 1-4-5. 1-4-5. That is a horse and buggy. There we go. We finally got something on the board for the smalls. We finally got something on the board for the smalls. We had nothing. We were hitting nothing but talls. Oh, one of my AC systems kind of went down. I have it automatically programmed at a certain time that it's just off. In case I forget. Sometimes I forget, so the system automatically shuts itself off. All right, 6-2, 6-4, 6-2, 6-4. We're looking for a 10. Puppy paws wouldn't sound that bad. 145 once again. That is a replay. 145. That's another fiver. That is another fiver. 145. I would be happy with a 4610. I would happy with a 4610. So we're on our 17th roll. Well, this is the 18th roll actually. 6264. This is our 17th roll. This is we actually completed 17. We're now shooting roll number 18. We're shooting on roll number 18. And we are going to go to 75 rolls if possible. 75 rolls for an hour. I think we started streaming at 9:30. Still got about 30 minutes more to go. Maybe this shooter can take us all the way through those 30 minutes. The same shooter. 1-5 easy 6. 1-5 easy 6. 1-5 easy 6. And I'll be honest, I'm not betting as aggressively as I should be. I'm very actually, I'm way behind. I've been focusing a lot on chatting. But if you're out there, I hope you're making money. We're on roll number 18, so hopefully you're in way into the black chip level. Way into the black chip level. You're collecting. Don't be afraid to collect, and then regress and build it back up. And build it back up. 6264. We're shooting 64, 62. We're looking for that 10. We established that point with the 6-4. Let's see if we can get the 6-4 once again. There's a 2-4 easy 6. 2-4 easy 6. There's a 2-4 easy 6. We are hitting box numbers. We are hitting box numbers, so don't be afraid to press collect, press collect, press collect. That should help you get out of the hand if you're on there. 6-2, 6-4, 6-2, 6-4. We're looking for a 10. We're looking for a 10. Our point is 10. Ooh, that's a 3-3 hard 6. That's a hard 6 over there. Let me bring it onto the screen. Sorry, I have to walk around. 3-3 hard 6. 3-3 hard 6. All right, let me press that 6. Let's see if we can get box cars. That'll be nice. But we're missing the 9. We haven't hit the 9. We're avoiding that 9 like a bad habit. 6-2, 6-4. What we're using. 6-2, 6-4. And we're looking for that 10. A 6-4 would be nice. That's a 2-5-7 out. Oof. Wah wah. Wah wah. There's a 2-5-7. A 2-5-7. But in due fairness, we did have 21 rolls. 21 rolls. So that wasn't bad. That wasn't too bad. And we were missing the midnight and the 9 for the totals. So I'm going to go 10, 10, 10. 10 big red and $10 horn high ace deuce. Because we've been hitting ace deuces. Except for this go around. But we did have 21 rolls. So get your bets in there. Get your bets in there. Let's see if we can do it once more. We're at 34 rolls. We're going to go to 75. So we're about 40 rolls. We need to go. 6-2, 6-4. Let's stick with the same dice set. 6-2, 6-4. It was working. Don't change it if it ain't broken. And that took us into the way into the double digit roll. So let's see if we can do it once again. 6-2, 6-4. 6-6 midnight. That is boxcar on the come out roll. That was one of the numbers. Remember how I told you that Lady Luck has a tendency of messing with us? That was the number we were needing a while ago. The midnight and the 9. Midnight and the 9. How you doing, Duracell? Hey, smash that like button. Thank you, Duracell. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully we can do it once again. We had a good roll previously. Let's see if we can do it once again. Try to get into the double digits. Again, I am practicing for our meetup in Lake Charles. A 6-2-6-4. 6-2-6-4. Can we get another horn? We'll get at least a toss. 20 something rolls and we couldn't get any side of the ATS. No bueno. No bueno. That is an ace deuce. That's another horn. That's a back-to-back horns. Back-to-back horns. See how I told you that I like to bet a little bit heavier on the ace deuce? At least for me, it's my come out rolls because every now and then, or a lot of times, that ace deuce shows up. So if my horn is heavy in the ace deuce, I'm not afraid of losing that pass line. That's one way to make money on those back-to-back horns. So I'm not afraid to hit, or I'm not discontent if I do hit horns that come out because I am betting them. Like I told you, I was betting 10, 10, 10, 10 big red and $10 horn high ace deuce. And then I pressed it when I hit it the first time. So I made money on there. First roll, horn, made money. Second roll, I made money. All right, here we go. The third horn right about now wouldn't be that bad. There's a 2-5 come out 7. 2-5 come out 7. Wah wah. Wah wah. But it is a come out 7. So we did win on the pass line, but our horns had to regress them back. We had two of the hard numbers out of the way. Ace, deuce, and a midnight. So here we go. So I consider those, even though there was an ace, deuce, and a midnight in the come out, I do consider those winners because I make money. At least for me, I make money because I'm betting them on the come out, even on myself. So when I'm doing this, I'm also trying to look exactly where my dice landed, where they hit, and see if I can hit the same spot once again. Ooh, that's a 4-6 easy 10. 4-6 easy 10. So there's our point. So they hit right here. Here you can see where the stick is right there where they hit. There we go. 10 is a point. So at least that's something that I'm looking at. And I'll be truthful right now. I don't have many chips in the way because I tend to put chips in the way just to see as it happens in the real world, just to practice my my throwing and try to get it in between chips and stuff like that. But in due fairness, I have no chips, no minefields, nothing in there. But I like doing that just to practice. 6-2, 6-4, same dice set. 6-2, 6-4. Tanners are point. It looks very similar to the previous roll when we established the 10 as a point. That's a 4-6-10. That is a 4-6-10. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner chicken dinner. So we did hit our point. We did hit our point. Let's go back on the big red and the $10 horn high ace deuce. Big red $10 horn high ace deuce. So 6-2, 6-4 is the dice set. We're using cross sixes. We were using 6-4, 6-2, and it was getting come out big reds. This is doing the same thing, but it has taken us into a teen roll, so I just swapped the dice. That's all I did. Here we go. 6-2, 6-4. That's a 1-3-4. 1-3-4. So our point is a 4. I don't think we're hitting too many small numbers, but I hit in here right there where it says pays double. That's where the dice hit before they bounced out and did their own little magical thing. So when I'm at the real table, I kind of tend to do the same things. Look, okay, where did my dice hit? Can I do it again? Can I get it back in the same spot? And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep focus when at the real table. I tend not to talk too much at the real table. I tend to be very just focused when I'm in there. I actually grabbed onto the table and do not let go from with my left hand until my roll's completely done. Sometimes I'll leave the table all sweaty where my hand just gripped the table throughout the whole roll. That's a 4-6-10. That is a 4-6-10. That 10 looks familiar. It's a 4-6-10. So my dice hit a little before the pays double. A little bit before it pays double. 4-6-10. I'm just sharing where my dice are landing. I'm not sure if the frame rate on the camera is good enough to capture where the dice are hitting, but that's where I'm trying to target, the same little spot. I'm trying to stay within like those 3 inches squared area. I'm not perfect, but I try it. 6-2, 6-4 dice set. A little bit shorter than it should. 1-5 easy 6. 1-5 easy 6. Okay, get a 6 here. There we go. 1-5 easy 6. Now we're hitting the smalls, or at least staying on the small side. Last time we were avoiding the smalls for a bit. Okay, 6-2, 6-4. And I'm trying to aim for that 12, pays double 12, that circle. That's where I'm aiming for. And not too high. I'm not trying to be parallel to the table when my arm is released. I'm trying to get a little bit lower. And each table is different. I'll be truthful. It's not the same thing I practice the same thing in every table. Depending how my dice are landing, I'll go higher or lower. Just depends. There's a 2-5-7 out. It did hit the 12 spot, and it gave me a big red. 2-5-7 out. That only got us to 9 rolls. That only got us to 9 rolls. Not bad, but not good. I like teens. I like teen numbers. I like 12s, 15s. That I like. 20s are nice. All right, it's a come out bet. It's a come out bet, so bet accordingly. Got 20 seconds in there to count down. Got plenty of time. We're at 43 rolls. We got about 30 more rolls to go. Hopefully I have one shooter that can take us in there. We're doing the 6-2, 6-4. And I'll share a thought that's in my mind right now. That because I hit with this dice set and I aim for the pays double, and it gave me a big red, so I'm gonna try to go either past it and try not to hit the same spot again. And normally I have a log. You've probably seen me share this log before. So normally I have a log. And then at my rolls, I have a tendency of looking something like this for every shooter, including myself. And I see what kind of maybe is getting a lot of 6s on one die. A lot of 6, I get 6-2, 6-4s. And I'll try to kind of bet those numbers that are hitting with more money and not bet so heavy on the numbers that are not hitting. This is an old school, God rest his soul, Howard Rock and Roll is the one that showed me how to write down numbers and keep logs. All right, 2, 6, easy, 8. 2, 6, easy, 8. So my dice landed right here on that line, right before the 6 and 8. So that's where I'm trying to aim. That's my new spot. Sorry, I have to reach way over there. I'm vertically challenged. I'm not as tall. So I have to really reach out for that number. So that's sharing what I'm doing. There we go. I am still using the 6264, but I'm trying to hit right before that line of the 6 big 6 8. That's where I'm trying to hit. There's where I want the dice to land, and then it shoot up to where back to the back wall, touch those gators, and do their thing. I'm trying to be consistent. Ugh, the 257, horrible. 257. One hit here, and it gave me a 257. That was a womp womp. Did animation go? 257. That landing spot didn't work. That landing spot didn't work. That shooter only got us 2 rolls. That was a horrible PSO. That was a horrible PSO. 6-2, 6-4. So now I'm looking for a new landing spot. Let me hit that ABCDice logo. Let's see, with the same dice set, I'm making 1 change at a time. If I do 2 or 3 or 4 changes at once, the amount of dice rotation, the landing spot, the height, and I don't know what works and what doesn't work. So I'm trying to change one thing at a time. Same dice set, just changing the last spot. Same grip. That's a 1-5 easy 6. That is a 1-5 easy 6. 6 is our point. 6 is our point. So at least that's how I think. Doesn't mean that should work for you. I just how my mind works. I'm a systematic person, and I tend to think that way. Like one thing, one change, and if it doesn't work, go back and do something else. There are some gentlemen or ladies and gentlemen out there that they're more fine-tuned, and then we can make a couple changes at once and know how their behavior are. I believe our good friend Heavy, he's more in tune into the dice behavior. Great courses if you ever want to learn out there. Take some of the seminars. Great courses out there, worth your investment. There's a 1-4-5. That is a 1-4-5. 1-4-5. It did hit the spot that I wanted to. That is a horse and buggy. It hit here. I'm trying to hit that 1-4-5. So I am going to press it. I am pressing. And you do have rebuys out there, so I know some of you like to go on the leaderboard. So feel free to. I tend to kind of just bet as if I am at the real casino. Probably my loss limit is a whole lot more tighter than I am on Crapsee, because Crapsee is simulated money. Again, it's all we're just practicing. But at the roll table, I do have a loss limit. I'll go take a break, go take a nap, go get something to eat, and then come back. If I do. Oof, they kissed over there, and they gave me a 3-4-7. Ugh. I mentioned before, I hate when the dice kiss. I dislike that, because that gives us this horrible number. Look at that. When I hear that click, it just, I know something good may not happen, be in our favor. All right, got to change things up. The small changes didn't work. We're using 6264. We can use cross sixes, but I'm going 6-5, 6-4. Let's see if that changes our actual outcomes, because these last two shooters were horrible. We've gone from something good to something not so good. 6-5, 6-4. 1-6 come out 7. That is a 1-6 come out 7. That is a double pitch top and bottom dice. That is a come out 7. They hit over here. That is a winner. That is a pass line winner. So if you were laying some numbers, ouch. Ouch. So here we go. I'm going to go with a big red set, modified big red set. So what I do is to start with the big red, which is 6-5, 1-2, and actually roll my right die over one. Let's see how that does. So it ends up being like 6-5, 4-2. Let's see how that works for us. 6-5, 4-2. There's a 1-4-5. That is a 1-4-5. We established the point as a 5. I am going to wait one roll even on myself. I will place odds. But I will wait one roll before I put money on the pass line. I will wait one roll. Again, 6-5, 4-2. 6-5, 4-2. And what I'm doing is I'm actually listening to where the Crapsee goes, that little chime. That way, so I know when to actually start shooting the dice. There's a 4-5-9er. 4-5-9er. Let me go out here. This dice is way back here. That's a neener. It's a neener. So let's see if we can get some points once again, because we were doing so well. We were doing so well that 20-something roller, even though we didn't hit any of the ATSs either side. There's a 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. 6-5. 4-2. 6-5. 4-2. Hopefully we can go to bed with a nice win. Oof, there's a 5-6 yo. That dice rolled way back here. There's a 5-6 yo. Let me push that red die all the way back. Here we go. That's a 5-6 yo. I had no horn, no money on a horn, but I am a crazy fool. Sorry, I am a fool. See a horn, bet a horn. Not the wisest of ways to play, because you just are slowly losing money. But the nickel's not gonna hurt me at all. I don't mind betting a nickel on a horn. 6-5, 1-2. All right. That's a 5-5 puppy paws. That is a 5-5 heart 10. 5-5 heart 10. 5-5 heart 10. So when this happens at the table that I'm missing a single number, I'll kind of just regress to like maybe 66 inside or something along those lines, and I'll throw a I was on the hard ways, so I'll parlay that. So I do have I'm a crazy fool on this one too. That if I'm looking for a midnight, Lady Luck has a tendency like na boo boo, and she'll give me aces instead of the midnight that I'm looking for. So I'll throw a nickel and horn high ace deuce. I'll throw a nickel and horn high ace deuce. Doesn't mean that it's gonna work, but that's just me. Hopefully we hit that midnight. Hopefully we hit that midnight. So here we go. 6-5 4-2. Be nice if we see the dots in all the spots on the far end. It'll be nice if we see the dots in all the spots on the far end. There's a 3-5 easy 8. 3-5 easy 8. There we go. All right. 3-5 easy 8. We hit that 8. 6-5 4-2 is the dice that we're using. Let's see if we get one side of the ATS for tonight. That's a 3-6-9er. 3-6-9er. That is a Nina. Nina. We got one of those sixes. We got one of those sixes. We got the bottom half. Let's see if we can get both of those. Getting a pair of sixes out there so we can hit tonight a midnight, or at least hit the talls. 6-5 4-2 is the dice that we're using. 6-5 4-2. I need my right die to roll over. We'll make the diamonds roll it over because it's not a primary number on my right die. So to have the 4-2 on the right die, it's not. It wouldn't be a primary hit. Because one of my right die rolled over to the right. If I get that midnight. That's a 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. 2-6 easy 8. That was a good hit. So we're on 9 rolls. Can we get another 20 roller out of the shooter, take us into the 70s? So we fall short maybe like a 73 rolls or shy, maybe 2 rolls of the 75, and we've gone to an hour because we're at the hour right now, but we're in the middle of a roll. I'm gonna continue it. Well, at least actually stop at the at 72 rolls or whatever it stops at. But if we're very far down, like 60 something, we're gonna keep rolling at least for the last shooter. All right, 6-5 4-2. I'm not looking for midnight. I'm trying to just stay consistent, trying to hit those place bet numbers. 1-4-5. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner. That is a horse and buggy. That is a pass line winner. Sorry if you see me go out of frame. I need to come around and pick up the dice to have a 14-foot table and I can't reach. So 1-4-5. That is a place bet winner. There's a come out roll, so bet accordingly. I know some of you like to go ahead and bet horns. I am a horn player. I would not hesitate to lose a pass line bet if I hit the midnight straight out. So 6-5 4-2. as I'm also betting the horn and I'm on the ATS. So here we go. All right, let's come out roll. Get your bets accordingly. Somebody getting a countdown. 6, 5, 4, 2 is the dice that we're using. As an ace deuce come out. That's an ace deuce on the come out. That is a winner for me. For some of you who don't play the horns, and that may be a loser if you had pass line bet. But because I'm a shooter, I will throw $10 horn high ace deuce. So even though I do lose my pass line, I did make money on that roll. Very handsomely. Sometimes I just parlay it. Sometimes I'll just parlay it. Let's see if we can get another horn. It'll be nice if we get a midnight. 6, 5, 4, 2 is the dice set. 6, 5, 4, 2. I'll be honest with you, this AC system that I have right now is quiet, but man, is it humid right now. I feel my fingers humid and sticky to the dice. That's a 1, 6, 7. Ugh. That's a 1, 6, 7. That is a winner, but it resets our ATS. That resets our ATS. Look at that. That resets it. We did win, but we lost. We did win, but it was a loser. At least I would have to get on a nice day of hitting that midnight. At least a tall side. 6, 5, 4, 2. The 3, 6, 9er. 3, 6, 9er. Let's see if we can hit some box numbers. 3, 6, 9. Niners are point. Niners are point. If Lady Luck is brutal to us, she'll give us a midnight now. 6, 5, 4, 2. We're at, this is our 14th roll. This is our 14th roll. So we did have 2 shooters that had double digits. There's a 2, 4 easy 6. They did kiss in the back end. Those dice did kiss. I dislike when they do that, but it is a good number. 2, 4 easy 6. 2, 4 easy 6. Let's see if we can try to get one side of the ATSs. That'd be nice. 6, 5, 4, 2 is the dice that we're using. 6, 5, 4, 2. That's a 1, 4, 5 horse and buggy. We've seen that before. 1, 4, 5. That is a good hit. I'm getting my stretches in right now. At my age, stretching can be dangerous. Snack, what is it? Snack, crackle, and pop is not only my cereal. When I wake up in the morning, I hear those beautiful sounds of joints and popping and all kinds of sounds. 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 2. We're at 60 something rolls. We're at 63 rolls. On as far as the roll count, and this shooter is on roll number 16. This shooter's on roll number 16. That's a 2-4 easy 6. Those dice are hiding back there behind the stack of chips. I kind of keep them because they're very similar to how the dealers have it. But let me see if I can get them, bring them into focus. And, here we go. 2-4 easy 6. 2-4 easy 6. There we go. All right. Well, roll number 17. 6, 5, 4, 2. That's 1, 7. Can we get another 20 roller? We got one a while ago. It'd be nice if we can get another 20 roller. It'd be nice if we can get another 20 roll. 2 shooters with 20 rolls. All right. 6, 5, 4, 2. That's a 1, 3, 4. That is a 1, 3, 4. It's been a while I haven't seen a 4. I don't know how many rolls back, but there's a 1, 3, 4. Maybe we'll hit the small side before we even get the talls, because we've been getting close to the talls a couple times, but haven't been able to connect. We wouldn't be surprised if we hit the smalls first. All right. Six, 5, 4, 2 is the dice that we're using. And this shooter has taken us into 18 rolls. We're 10 rolls shy of our 25 rolls that we're trying to target. Got to set a goal. Try to get 10 more rolls out of this shooter. 10 more rolls. There's a 4-5-9. That is a 4-5-9. That is a neener. That is a winner. 4-5 neener. Apologize, the computer's acting up. Okay. My apologies, folks. I got a 4-5-9er. So let me see if I can move the dice into view. 4-5-9er. There's a winner. It's a come out roll, so please bet accordingly. Please bet accordingly. If you work the come out, I warn you, I have been known to hit a couple of big reds on the come out. But if you still want to go ahead and lay those numbers or do some kind of work the come out, it's on you. If you play like that at the real table, by all means do that. 6, 5, 4, 2 is the dice that we're using. 6, 5, 4, 2. We made a small little modification based on what the dice were doing, so it's been working for us a bit, at least for this go round. That's a 1, 5 easy 6. 6 is our point. 1, 5 easy 6. Let me see if I can pull these dice without knocking all the chips out of that stack. So 1, 5 easy 6. 6 is the point. 6 is the point. So this shooter will take us into the 20s. 6, 5, 4, 2. So we did have 2 shooters going to the 20s. I don't know what shooter number 3 or shooter number 4, something like that. Maybe 5. I don't know. I would have to look back. But we have hit 2 shooters with the 20 rolls. And we were trying to get 10 more rolls out of this shooter to get us into at least 75 or close to it. That's a 2-5-7 out. Ooh, this shooter did not connect. 2-5-7 out. Wah wah. Wah wah. We had to do one more shooter. One more shooter. But it was 20 rolls. It was 20 rolls, so it wasn't bad. It was not bad. All right. Go ahead. As a come out roll, so place your bets accordingly. Place your bets accordingly. This shooter hit 20 rolls. We're gonna try to keep the same dice set, same landing spots. Let's see if we can get another double-digit roll. We're gonna go with a 6-5, 4-2. Unfortunately, it was a primary hit because I'm using 6-5, 4-2. So 6-5, 4-2. It was a primary hit. So not good. Okay, here we go. To come out roll. That's a 5-6 yo, come out yo. That is a winner chicken dinner. So the dice did hit further deep inside, but it gave us a yo. Let me get my stretch in. 5-6 yo. So that is a come out winner. I am gonna press my horn. I am gonna press it. See if I can get another horn. 6-5, 4-2. Can we get another horn? Maybe a couple horns back to back. Couple of horns back to back. There's a 3-6-9er. 3-6-9er. So our point is 9. We're trying to make it a 75 rolls, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all participating. Got a couple good rolls in here. Couple of good rolls in here. Let's take a quick second and see what our leaderboard is at. We got Don Z at 2,069. Chew my fat. Ooh, that's a funny name. Let me see. Oh, bear with me. Apologies. Chew my fat at 2,065. He's shy of first place by what is it? $4. Glenn from Texas at 944. Blue J Way Kevin at 904. Ramper Room at 686. Crampin Camper at 263. Travel Gal at 218. Hi Nina. We got Costi Carlos 169. Babs, Layla taking shots. So thank you those of you participating. I'm in the red. I was betting too aggressively, but it's okay. 6-5-4-2. 6-5-4-2. There we go. 9 is our point. Is it 3-5 easy 8? 3-5 easy 8. There's a good hit. Close. Last time we established a point with a 6-3. Now we got the 5-3. Can we get a 6-3? 6-3 9er. 6-3 9er. 6-5-4-5. I'm sorry, 6-5-4-2. 6-5-4-2. My apologies. So again, while I'm waiting for this chime to hit from Crapsee, if you happen to be in the area over here, you're in Lake Charles, or here in Houston, in Texas, but we'll be meeting up in Lake Charles, May 28th through the 30th. That's a 1-3-4. 1-3-4. That's a nice hit. If you bought that 4, it pays double. 1-3-4. So again, this will be a last shooter. Will be our last shooter. So I know some of you like to just empty your racks. It's okay if you want to do that. I'm kind of betting as if I'll bet at the real casino. I will read out the leaderboard. But again, don't know how this shooter's going to shoot, right? Almost at the real table. 6-5-4-2. 6-5-4-2. I am in the red. I'm trying to finish in the green, but I'm not emptying my rack either. Here we go. 369er. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner chicken dinner. That is a winner. Look at that. 369er. Same exact way I think we established the point. Oh, I think the little animation was blocking the dice, but that is a winner. 369er. Let me see. There you go. 369. All right, is a come out roll, so bet accordingly, please. Bet accordingly. That is a winner. 6-5-4-2 is the dice set. It's been doing decently for us. I can't say it's the dice set I use when I'm at the real table. It depends how my dice are behaving, and one dice is rolling over or double pitching. I make small adjustments there. But for right now, 6-5-4-2 doesn't mean that this is this dice set that anybody should use. It's just a correction that I was doing. That's a 5-5 hard 10. There's a come out. That is a puppy paws. We did establish our 10 as a point. Ooh, you know what I mean. That Lady Luck's gonna tease us and give us the aces. 5-5 hard 10. So I am gonna do what I do at the real table because I am practicing as if again I was practicing for the real casino coming up. I am going to go 30, 66 inside, $10 horn high aces. $10 horn high aces is what I'm doing. See, Lady Luck messes with us and give us aces instead of midnight. But I think it's been a couple times that we're missing the midnight, if I remember correctly. 6-5-4-2. A couple times we're missing a midnight for the talls. 2 or 3 numbers still on the smalls, but at least for sure we were missing a midnight a couple times. Again, that midnight is elusive, so we're looking for that. Oof, rolled way back here. I just like that. 1-6-7. Wah, wah. 1-6-7, and I think that's gonna do it for us, ladies and gents. That took us exactly at 75 rolls. Look at that. Not what I wanted to do. At 1-6-7 out, I did regress again. I was at 66 inside. I still finished in the red. Let's see who let's see what our leaderboard is at. If Crapsee allows me to go in there. Don Z at 2069. Chew My Fat still stayed at 1605 at second place. Blue J Way Kevin 993. Ramper Room 966. Glen, Texas 944. Crampin Camper 263. In the green is still in seventh place. Costi Carlo 169. Taking Shots 47. And in the red in ninth place, Taylor Lowe, Melbay, Mad Dog, Mike, and I'm way. Travel Gal finished in 14th place, Flip 760. So I'm way at the bottom. But again, thank you for tuning in. Again, this was practice. We got a couple of shooters out there that were kind of decent. This one wasn't too bad, even though he didn't hit the talls. And 6 rolls, we were still missing a midnight. But again, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is a practice session for tonight. Y'all have a great evening. This is Vince from ABCDice. If you're in Texas, you're in Lake Charles, or happen to be in the area from May 28th to 30th, again, Texas Turn Up Craps, Texas Crap Shooters, ABCDice, and a couple other people. We're going to be meeting up there in Lake Charles. No specific hotels. You can stay at the Horseshoe, at LaBerge, Golden Nugget. We'll share an itinerary and meet up an agenda where we can meet up and get to know each other and have at least a couple of groups. So it'll be weekdays, so I know it's tough for some people, but again, if you have time and you're able to make at least 1 or 2 days, go out there. I probably will be 2 days. I'm not sure I'm gonna stay into Friday. I know I'll be there on Friday, but I'm probably gonna come back. I just hate all the people out on a Friday late in the evening. You got tons of people on a Fridays, and then the tables go up. So again, feel free to tune in. ABCDice, check us out, have fun, be safe, and make friends out there. Take care.